Ladies are moving faster, 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 faster than boys. You're basically a disaster, disaster. You leave me no choice. No choice. You leave me no.
Hey guys, it's Hamster Fanatic 26, and today's video is going to be how to breed betta fish and braided fish breeding tips. So I'm gonna jump right into it. Murph here is just gonna be my little personal help for my fish to help, and you can see his fin rod's been doing better. His fins are getting longer. So yeah, that's one. So anyway, so when you're breeding your betta fish, what you're gonna need a separate breeding tank. I suggest using a 10-gallon or a 20-gallon tall. A 10-gallon is fine, but the bigger the better because it will give the female more places to hide from the male. So then you're going to need a heater that can heat the water to approximately 80 to 82 degrees. This just helps the fry to not get cold, and yeah. Then you're going to need a separate container to put the female into the breeding tank. So you're going to want to, after you've got all the things you need, before you start even engaging in breeding, you're going to want to keep your male and your female separate and feed them fresh foods and keep their diet healthy and more richer foods because they will not be eating for the next 3 days. Well, actually the male won't eat for the next 3 days. The female will be able to eat after she has engaged and laid her eggs. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to be like a week before you start breeding, you're going to want to be feeding your betta fish either fresh bloodworms, but remember the rule on bloodworms, no, not too many, but this just keeps the nutrients in the diet so they will be healthy when they are breeding. And you can feed them the richest pellets you have. I recommend the New Life Spectrum pellets because these are the best on the market right now. So you're going to want to keep your bettas like this and feed them the more richer foods because it's going to help their babies be more stronger and immune to diseases, so that's always a better thing. So after you have conditioned your bettas, and condition is mean like just, you know, feed them that. So after you've conditioned your bettas, you're going to want to introduce the female. What you're going to do is you're going to take your female into a separate container. I recommend a jar. I don't have one to show, but you can just sit her in a jar, and you sit her and put a lid on the jar, and you sit her inside the breeding tank. Remember to not use the male or female's tank for breeding. You have to get a separate breeding tank. This just makes sure that there is no violence for as dominance and behavioral and yeah, territorial. That's what I meant to say. So you just want to get a separate breeding tank. So sit her in the breeding tank for about a day in that container. If you see the male flare at her, that's perfectly normal. That means he is interested in her and he is ready to mate. So when you see these vertical lines on your female betta's body, that means that she is ready to breed and you can release her into the breeding tank. So after you release the female into the breeding tank, you're going to see some aggression. There might be nipping fins, and that's perfectly normal, but remember, if it gets out of hand, remove the female and recondition them. And keep in mind that recondition them is just give them the richer foods. So after so when the female is at the period, when the female is in the jar in the breeding tank, the male should start blowing his bubble nest. If he is not flaring at her and nothing happens after 2 days of releasing the female into the tank, you're going to want to take her out and recondition her. So the male should have blew his bubble nest while the female was in the jar in the 10-gallon or wherever you're keeping there for the breeding tank. I do recommend a 10-gallon though because that's the best, but you can get a 20-gallon longer tall, that's better. So after the male has his bubble nest and the female is released into the tank, he's going to be chasing her away from the bubble nest. This just basically means that he is not ready to breed yet, as he is still blowing the bubble nest and he does not want to destroy it. So keep in mind that this is going to go on for about a day, and after the second day of her being in there, if nothing happens, remember to remove her and recondition the bettas. So once your bettas are ready to mate, they will come together under the bubble nest, and he will approach her. She will have her head down and her fins up, and he will wrap himself around her, and they will float to the bottom. Her eggs will release, and she will float to the top. Now, this does not mean she is dead. He has just knocked her out, and he is going to pick up the eggs, fertilize them, and bring them to the bubble nest. So you can continue this cycle however many times you want to, but just remember, you don't want to overwork your female beta, because this shortens her life expectancy. So I would only personally let them embrace 2 to 3 times, and 3 times is a little bit dangerous, so maybe 1 to 2 times for a safety zone. I'm not looking into breeding betas anytime soon, because you have to be aware that they can have tons of babies, and for beta fish, they all have to be separated. So you have to have a good home source for all of the babies. You have to have homes for at least 20 to 60 babies, because that's how many they can have in at least one embrace. The first embrace is going to have lots of eggs, so you have to be prepared for how many you can handle. If you are not ready to handle at least 30 to 60 babies, then maybe you are not ready to breed betas. I hope this video was helpful to those that are looking to breed betas. And remember, do not overwork your female. I'll see you guys in the next care video. And one more thing, guys, that I forgot to mention, you're going to want to keep a cover over your beta fish's tank, the breeding tank, because this keeps the moisture into the tank and it keeps the humidity. And remember to have don't have the filter on when the babies are born, because the babies can get sucked up. So, and then another thing, you're going to want to, after the fry has hatched and they are free swimming, remove the male, because he cannot help them at this point and he will most likely just eat them. So after the beta babies are free swimming, remove the male, and the betas, after 2 weeks, you should be able to clean the tank. Now, do not clean it roughly, because the betas are so small, you're more likely going to get some fry when you're cleaning the tank, so be sure to have a way to get them back into the main tank without sucking them out. And after that, your beta should be fed, after all of the breeding is done, your beta should be fed bloodworms for at least 2 to 3 days, just because that helps them get their nutrients back. Now I'm done, guys, and I hope this helped, and I'll see you guys in the next care video.